Chosen one, do you feel it stirring deep within your spirit? That unshakable sense that greater things are just around the corner? This is not a coincidence, and you are not here by accident. You have been divinely positioned to hear this message, a message that will challenge everything you once believed about wealth, struggle, and destiny. Yes, you have faced trials, seasons that tested the very core of who you are, but those storms did not come to destroy you, they came to refine you. And now, you stand at the threshold of a monumental shift, one that could catapult you into your first million sooner than you ever dared to imagine. Look back at your journey. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every door that slammed shut on your dreams was preparing you for this hour. You have prayed and waited, worked and sacrificed, wondering if the day would ever arrive when you could truly say goodbye to financial stress. In the natural, it might seem like your big break is still miles away. Yet I stand here to remind you that in the realm of faith and divine appointment, things can change in the blink of an eye. That first million, that life-altering breakthrough, is closer than you think. Before we proceed, I want you to do something powerful, something that might seem simple but carries incredible spiritual weight. Type 777 in the comments as a bold statement of faith, as your way of saying, I am ready. By typing those 3 digits, you are aligning yourself with a higher reality, the reality where you no longer live bound by lack or fear, but where resources flow to you effortlessly. This small step is a declaration to heaven and earth that your mindset has shifted from limitation to expectation, from doubt to unwavering belief. Chosen one, take a deep breath and exhale the anxieties of the past. You have been striving, pushing, doing everything in your power to make ends meet. But let me share a powerful truth. It is not about how hard you work, it is about who you are destined to be. When you truly grasp that you are chosen, hand-picked, to fulfill a mission that only you can accomplish, everything changes. You begin to see opportunities that once hid in plain sight. You start to sense that your future is brimming with purpose, and the financial resources required to fulfill that purpose will naturally align. Think of David, a shepherd boy tending sheep in the fields, overlooked by those around him. Nobody saw a future king in that young boy, but God had already anointed him for greatness. David's journey to the throne was not instantaneous. He walked through seasons of obscurity, facing giants, both literal and metaphorical, yet he never lost sight of the promise woven into his spirit. Likewise, your path to your first million may have unexpected detours, but do not let that discourage you. Each detour is a setup for a leap forward, preparing you in ways you cannot fully see right now. The shift begins in your mind. When you remove the ceiling of self-imposed limitation, you create room for miracles. Instead of thinking, that kind of money is only for other people, you dare to whisper, why not me? It is in that whisper, that glimmer of faith, that the foundations of your old mindset begin to crack. Suddenly, it is not so far-fetched to believe that in the next few months or even weeks, you could see doors opening, deals closing, or opportunities surfacing that catapult you to heights you once thought unreachable. Chosen one, do you understand the magnitude of what is happening here? There is a reason you have faced the battles you have. Darkness often intensifies its hold on those who carry an extraordinary calling. If the enemy can convince you that success is out of reach, you will never step into the fullness of your purpose. But I declare today that the chains of doubt, fear, and unworthiness are shattering. You are royalty by design, destined not only to live in financial freedom, but also to be a channel of blessing to countless others. The journey toward your first million is not merely about accumulating numbers in a bank account. It is about unlocking your capacity to steward abundant resources for good. Think of Esther, who rose from a place of obscurity to a position of influence that saved an entire nation. Her wealth was not just monetary, It was influence, authority, and a strategic role that changed history. Your story carries that same potential. Your million is not just for you. It is for your family, your community, and even strangers you may never meet, but whom you will impact through your generosity and vision. I sense some of you may still be wrestling with doubt. Maybe you have tried before, invested time and effort, only to see plans crumble. Hear me. Failure is not the end. It is feedback. It refines your approach, teaching you lessons that will help you seize the right opportunity when it comes. Do not let past disappointments color your expectations for the future. The fact that you are still standing, still willing to believe, proves that you carry a resilience no setback can extinguish. If you have not typed 777 yet, do it now. Let it be your rallying cry, a reminder that you are stepping out of the shadows of hesitation. You are proclaiming, "I am ready to see the impossible become possible in my life." And watch how quickly things begin to move. You might see it in small, sudden blessings, or in one giant wave of favor that changes everything overnight. The timing is divine, and all that is asked of you is to keep your heart open and your hands ready to receive. Chosen one, think back to those moments of synchronicity you have experienced, times when something you needed arrived at just the right time, or you met someone who connected you to an opportunity you did not even know you were searching for. Those moments were not random. They were previews of the life that awaits you once you fully say yes to your calling. They were breadcrumbs, leading you to a table of feasting. Your first million, though it feels monumental, is simply another divine breadcrumb, guiding you toward an even greater destiny. Faith without action is stagnant. Now that you sense this call to abundance, be prepared to act. Maybe it is launching that business idea, partnering with someone whose skills complement yours, or finally writing the book that has been on your heart. You will need to move. Each step of faith you take becomes a conduit for the miraculous. Do not fear making mistakes. Mistakes are stepping stones that refine your trajectory, ensuring that when success lands, you are prepared to steward it well. Look at the biblical account of the widow's oil. She was at her wit's end, believing she had nothing left but a small jar of oil. Yet, when she acted on a prophetic instruction to gather vessels, the oil multiplied endlessly until there were no more containers to hold it. Your potential to generate wealth works the same way. You may think you have only a small skill set or a limited network, but God can multiply what you have to a scale that leaves you and everyone else astounded. You just need to create the space, mentally, spiritually, and practically, for that abundance to pour in. Chosen one, your first million is closer than you think. Let those words echo in your spirit. Let them shatter every limitation that once caged your dreams. As you shift your mindset, you will naturally gravitate towards solutions, ideas, and partnerships that move you forward. You will become more discerning about where you invest your time, talent, and resources. You will say no to distractions that do not serve your higher purpose, freeing up energy for what truly matters. And remember, wealth is not just for your comfort. True wealth extends your capacity to help others. Imagine the scholarships you could fund, the families you could rescue from hardship, the impact you could make on your local community or even globally. This is not about bragging rights. It is about answering the call to be a vessel through which blessings flow. When you see your financial breakthrough through this lens, you realize it is not selfish to seek abundance. It is actually a divine assignment. If your heart is pounding with excitement, that is your soul recognizing truth. If you feel tears brimming in your eyes, that is the residue of doubt melting away. Do not hold back. Embrace the wave of possibility surging around you. In this moment, you are crossing a threshold, stepping from a room called not enough into a realm labeled more than enough. By choosing to believe, you activate the spiritual laws that govern increase. Instead of hustling to the point of exhaustion, you find yourself in a flow of favor where every effort seems multiplied. Comment 777 again if you feel led. Multiple declarations build a stronger edifice of faith. Let your words create a fortress around you, impenetrable by the arrows of doubt. And once you have taken that step, watch for confirmations. They might come through a conversation, a sudden financial gift, or a new idea that ignites your creativity. Sometimes, the nudge toward your first million is as simple as a single idea that, when acted upon with diligence, unlocks exponential returns. Chosen one. Think of Isaac sowing in a land of famine, yet reaping 100-fold in the same year. Logic could not explain it, but divine alignment did. This is your inheritance, to see returns that defy worldly reasoning. Your background, your educational level, your past failures, none of these can stand against a decree from the Most High that says, "You are blessed to be a blessing." Believe that decree is over your life right now. The greatest breakthroughs often happen at the intersection of faith and what the world calls impossible. Remember also that humility is key. Pride can kill your momentum as quickly as anything else. Recognize that this journey is about partnership with a higher power, not about self-glorification. The moment you start to believe you are the source of your own success is the moment you risk losing the divine edge that sets you apart. Stay grateful, remain teachable, and keep sowing seeds of generosity wherever you go. Chosen one, your first million is not a far-off myth. It is a reality waiting for you to catch up to it in faith. Continue to feed your mind and spirit with messages like this. Messages that remind you who you are, that stir your passion, and that keep you anchored in unshakable truth. Let your daily habits reflect the person you are becoming. Manage your finances with intention, invest in personal growth, and choose relationships that elevate your vision. Yes, you might still face challenges. The storms do not always stop just because you have caught a glimpse of your destiny. Yet each challenge will now look different to you because you carry a confidence that you are firmly on the path to a greater harvest. Challenges become opportunities for deeper wisdom, forcing you to adapt and innovate in ways that further refine you. This is how you grow from a seedling of possibility into a towering testimony of what unrelenting faith can achieve. If you have come this far, you are no ordinary person. You have felt the weight of struggle, but you never let it break you. You have seen others succeed and yearned for your turn, yet you did not allow envy to poison your heart. You have prayed, hoped, and endured. Now the doors you thought were locked are beginning to creak open. The connections you thought impossible are aligning in the shadows, ready to emerge when you step forward with conviction. Chosen one, do not hold back your joy. Let your spirit leap with excitement at the knowledge that your first million is closer than the doubts that once haunted you. In this awakening, you carry the power to reshape not just your financial future, but your entire legacy. You become an example, a beacon, a living proof that the divine is still in the business of elevating those who dare to believe. Let this be your moment of becoming, your crossing of the finish line from lack to abundance, from hesitation to bold action. Now pause. Let these words simmer in your soul. Let the energy of hope, faith, and possibility flood every cell of your being. Know that you are not alone in this quest. The one who orchestrated your steps to find this message is the same one who stands ready to guide you into that realm where you look at your bank balance with a grateful smile rather than anxious eyes. In that realm, you will see the seeds of generosity you have sown sprout into a harvest that blesses not just you, but everyone in your orbit. Have you typed 777 yet? If you still feel the stirring of doubt, do it as an act of defiance against every lie that said, "You can't," or "You're not enough." When you type those 3 numbers, see it as releasing your past limitations. Whether you are a seasoned professional or someone just starting out, the promise remains the same. If you align your heart, your mind, and your actions with the call to abundance, the universe will respond in ways that exceed your imagination. Chosen one, as you allow these words to infuse your spirit, realize that every second you spend in belief is rewiring your reality. You begin to speak differently, act differently, and even carry yourself with a calm confidence that signals you are no longer living under the shadow of not enough. This internal shift is powerful beyond measure, for our words, thoughts, and emotions are the architects of our circumstances. Where once you might have spoken doubt into existence, you now speak faith. Faith that your first million is not a far-flung dream, but a near and inevitable outcome. In this journey, do not discount the value of discipline. Yes, you are operating under divine favor, but even favor needs the structure to flourish. Budget your resources wisely. Seek out mentors who have walked this path. Study the principles of wealth creation and merge them with your unshakable faith. The combination of divine alignment and practical mastery forms the bridge that will carry you straight into the realm of financial freedom. You might already be sensing a stirring of ideas, or perhaps a sudden remembrance of a project you tucked away because you thought it was too ambitious. Let this be your cue to dust off that dream, because what seemed impossible before might now be pregnant with possibility. Opportunities that align with your calling have a way of rising to the surface when your mindset shifts. It is like you have finally tuned in to the right frequency, allowing you to hear the notes of opportunity that were playing all along. And do not be surprised if some people in your life fail to understand this dramatic change in you. They may scoff or question your newfound optimism because they themselves remain bound by their own limiting beliefs. Love them, but do not let their disbelief become yours. Part of stepping into abundance is acknowledging that not everyone will celebrate your progress. That is okay. The important thing is that you stay the course, refusing to let external opinions drive you off the path you have been divinely set upon. Chosen one of the most significant breakthroughs you can have is to truly comprehend that you do not walk this journey alone. There is a greater hand guiding you, orchestrating connections, and placing the right people in your path at precisely the right time. When you lean into that reality, even the setbacks that once seemed devastating will become mere stepping stones, preparing you to handle larger responsibilities and blessings. If you can learn to view every obstacle as a lesson rather than a dead end, your growth will accelerate in ways you never thought possible. If your heart resonates with these words, type 777 once more. Each time you do, you are reinforcing your agreement with a higher truth. Lack is not your portion, and financial scarcity is a chapter you have closed forever. Expect that as you do this, something in the atmosphere around you shifts. It might be subtle at first, a sense of peace or a small financial surprise. But these are confirmations that you are stepping into a new dimension of faith, a dimension where your first million is no longer a question of if, but when. Allow yourself the joy of anticipation. Sometimes we hold back our excitement out of fear that we will be disappointed. But understand, hope is a powerful force. It keeps your spirit open to possibilities. If a door closes, hope keeps you seeking the window God might be opening next. Without hope, your vision becomes cloudy and your energy stagnates. With hope, your eyes shine with expectation and you become a magnet for the opportunities that resonate with your dreams. Chosen one, reflect on the biblical principle that, to whom much is given, much is required. This is not meant to scare you away from abundance. Rather, it is an invitation to prepare your heart. The million you are stepping into is not just a number. It is a stewardship. Picture the faces of those you will inspire, the dreams you will ignite in others simply by living out your calling boldly. That is the real gift of wealth, enabling you to be a difference maker on a scale you never could have managed alone. Think of the parable of the talents, where the servants who invested and multiplied their resources were praised, while the one who buried his out of fear was rebuked. You have talents, chosen one, and you are being called to multiply them. That means stepping out, taking calculated risks, and trusting that when you move in alignment with your purpose, exponential growth becomes possible. It means refusing to let fear rob you of the harvest that has your name on it. Yes, you may have moments where the path ahead looks uncertain or you face a temporary roadblock. Rather than allowing discouragement to settle in, let your faith roar louder in those moments. Remind yourself of your vision. Remember the promise that your first million is closer than you think. Replay these words if you must. Let them echo in your soul as a clarion call to press on. In the kingdom of faith, perseverance is the currency that unlocks the vault of abundance. Chosen one, you might also feel a stirring to give, even in small ways, as an act of faith. When you sow from what you have, you declare that you believe in a reality of endless supply. The world teaches that giving away leads to having less, but divine principles say otherwise. Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down and overflowing. Imagine how different this world would be if more people lived with an abundance mindset, freely sharing resources without fear. You have the chance to model that, to be the catalyst for a culture of generosity in your sphere of influence. If you have not yet done so, take one more moment to type 777. Let it serve as your living testimony that you are not just hearing these words, but you are ready to act upon them. Doing so might seem symbolic, but symbols matter. Throughout history, people have marked significant shifts with outward signs, whether it be drawing a line in the sand or raising a banner in victory. In our digital age, your comment is that banner, your online altar of faith. Now, chosen one, let us briefly consider your day-to-day. It is easy to feel an emotional high right now, but how do you maintain it? Start with practical steps. Set aside time to pray, meditate, or journal your goals. Keep an eye out for that sudden spark of inspiration or the nudge to contact a person you have not thought of in a while. Often the Holy Spirit speaks in whispers, and if you are too busy to listen, you might miss the key that opens your next door. Choose to be intentional about creating a quiet space where divine ideas can surface. At the same time, stay active. Faith is forward motion. Seek out information, attend a seminar, or engage in forums where like-minded individuals gather. Your belief in the supernatural does not exclude the need for you to cultivate natural wisdom. Knowledge about finance, marketing, networking, or skill development is all part of the toolkit that will help you manage, multiply, and sustain your wealth. When you blend spiritual favor with strategic preparation, you become unstoppable. Chosen one, please know that the road to your first million may not be linear. There may be dips and turns, but each one serves a purpose. Perhaps you learn a new skill in a challenging season that becomes invaluable later on, or maybe a delay spares you from partnering with someone who is not aligned with your vision. Instead of resenting those twists, embrace them. They are part of the tapestry that forms your unique and powerful testimony, one that will encourage others who are still searching for a way through their wilderness. Consider the story of Joseph once more. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, unjustly imprisoned, yet each setback ultimately positioned him closer to the throne of Egypt. What looked like failure was actually rerouting him to a place of greater influence and prosperity than he ever imagined. If you find yourself in a pit, remember Joseph. That pit might be the launching pad to your palace. Hold tight to your vision, because your future is being woven together in unseen places. Chosen one, your first million is not the end of your story. it is the beginning of a new chapter. Imagine the doors that will open once you step into that level of resource. The philanthropic endeavors you can pursue, the partnerships you can form, the innovations you can pioneer. None of it is limited by money anymore. Instead, your limitation is only how big you dare to dream and how faithful you remain to the source of your blessing. That is true freedom, to live unbound by earthly restrictions, anchored in divine possibility. And there is more. Once you reach that million, do not forget the principles that got you there. Faith, gratitude, discipline, and generosity. These are not merely tools to get you off the ground. They are the sustenance that will keep your entire journey afloat. The person you become along the way is more important than any amount of money. Character is the container that holds your blessing. If your character is too small, your blessing will crush you. If your character has expanded through every trial, you will find yourself capable of handling far more than a million. Now, let your heart soak in this. You will look back on this moment as a pivotal turning point. Soon enough, you will see glimpses of how close you truly were. Pay attention to the people you meet, the emails you receive, the random ideas that pop into your mind. All of these can be vehicles driving you closer to that milestone. Each day, ask for clarity, and then move with expectancy. That expectancy is the breeding ground for miracles. Should discouragement attempt to rear its head, draw strength from the progress you have already made. Recall the nights you thought you would never make it this far, yet here you are. Hungry, hopeful, and on the verge of a breakthrough. You are no stranger to perseverance. In fact, it is woven into your DNA as a chosen one. Now, perseverance takes on a new dimension. You are not just surviving, you are thriving, ascending, and inspiring. If at any point you doubt, come back to this message. Revisit your reasons for pursuing this dream, the impact you long to create. Speak affirmations out loud. Surround yourself with testimonies of others who have walked a similar road. Keep your spiritual life active, praying and believing that every step you take is guided by a higher wisdom. And each time you renew your mind with these truths, the promise that your first million is near becomes ever more tangible. Chosen one, you have stayed with this message, which tells me you are serious about stepping into a new financial reality. This is your hour. An hour charged with divine purpose, unstoppable momentum, and the kind of faith that can move mountains of debt, limitation, and fear. Walk forward with your head held high, knowing that heaven applauds your courage. Keep your eyes fixed on the vision, your heart anchored in gratitude, and your hands open to receive. Type 777 yet again if you feel the surge of destiny welling up inside of you. There is no limit to how many times you can affirm your commitment to abundance and purpose. And as you do so, imagine the angels celebrating, the gears of heaven turning on your behalf, aligning the natural and supernatural in your favor. Chosen one, your first million is closer than you think. Let that sink in as the final echo in your soul for now. But do not let it be the last echo. Carry it with you. Let it shape your conversations, your decisions, your dreams. And watch how swiftly you transition from wanting to having, from dreaming to living, and from hoping to celebrating a reality so vibrant it leaves you breathless with gratitude. Chosen one, now that your heart has been stirred and your vision renewed, imagine walking into a brand new day where every step feels guided, every conversation charged with potential, and every decision aligned with divine purpose. This is not an illusion or a fleeting emotional high. This is a tangible shift, one that can reshape your circumstances faster than any human effort alone. When you believe with unwavering conviction that your first million is not just possible, but imminently on its way, the atmosphere around you responds to that faith. Old limitations begin to disintegrate, replaced by a sense of boundless possibility. In practical terms, you may find yourself drawn to people you never would have encountered otherwise. Doors once firmly shut may suddenly open to reveal opportunities that align with your gifts. Even the technology or platforms you need to grow may become readily available, sometimes offered by those who see the spark in your eyes and feel compelled to assist you. These are not coincidences. They are divine orchestrations. Your part is to keep moving, to keep acting on the nudges you receive, and to hold on to the promise that any setback is merely temporary, a brief pause on your journey to greater abundance. As you stand in this new reality, do not forget the power of community. You are not meant to walk this road alone. Seek out individuals who share your passion for growth, people who challenge you to elevate your thinking and push past the boundaries you once considered unbreakable. When iron sharpens iron, sparks fly, but those sparks bring clarity, innovation, and fresh vision. Collaboration amplifies what you can achieve on your own, accelerating your path toward that million and beyond. Chosen one, keep your spirit alert for the quiet whispers of insight. Perhaps you will be prompted to send an email, create a social media post, or strike up a conversation with a complete stranger. These seemingly small acts can cascade into life-changing moments. A divine appointment might be waiting right around the corner, and your role is simply to remain open, flexible, and courageous enough to walk through any door that feels right in your spirit. Remember, you do not need to know the entire map, just take the next illuminated step. If you sense any heaviness trying to creep back in, any voice that says, "This won't last," or "This is too good to be true," stand firm. Counter it with your testimonies of past victories. Reflect on situations in which you experienced breakthrough or provision seemingly out of nowhere. Those experiences are anchors reminding you that you have already tasted the goodness of divine favor. If such favor met you before, what's to stop an even greater wave of blessing from meeting you now? Go ahead and comment 777 again if your heart resonates with these words. Each time you do, let it serve as your shield against doubt. You are not blindly optimistic. You are anchored in the reality that you are chosen for a purpose bigger than yourself. Money in this context becomes a servant rather than a master, a resource that enables you to live out your calling without the shackles of financial worry. This is the essence of biblical prosperity, being so adequately supplied that you can flow generosity to others without fear of running dry. Chosen one, never underestimate the potency of gratitude. Even before your bank balance reflects the massive shift, give thanks as though it is already done. Wake up each morning and deliberately list the blessings you currently enjoy: health, relationships, creativity, open doors, or simply the fact that you have breath in your lungs and a mind capable of dreaming. Gratitude is a multiplier. It opens your spiritual eyes to see opportunities and solutions that you might otherwise overlook if you were fixated on what you lack. At times, you might feel a nudge to celebrate small milestones along the way to your first million. Perhaps you land a new client or sell your first product. Rejoice in those moments as though you have already reached the summit, because every victory, no matter how modest it may seem, is evidence that the tide is turning. Celebration keeps your mindset positive and your energy high, making you even more magnetic to the blessings that are swiftly making their way to you. Chosen one, recognize that this journey you are on is not just a personal endeavor, it is a divine commission. When you eventually cross that threshold into millionaire territory, you will have a platform of influence you might not have had before. With that platform comes responsibility. Use it to uplift those who are struggling, to mentor individuals who are a few steps behind, and to plant seeds of hope wherever you go. The measure of a prosperous life is not found solely in the size of one's bank account, but in the magnitude of one's impact. If you are feeling a surge of purpose right now, let it propel you forward. The experiences you have, both the triumphs and the tears, are not wasted. They are weaving together a tapestry of wisdom and empathy that will serve you well in the days ahead. People will be drawn to your authenticity, recognizing that your success was not just handed to you, but earned through faith, perseverance, and a willingness to honor divine principles. You become a beacon, demonstrating that with God, all things truly are possible. Comment 771 once more if you feel that wave of destiny washing over you. This is an active prayer, a silent but potent decree. By releasing those digits into the public space, you are saying, yes, I stand with this vision. Yes, I embrace this calling. Yes, I expect the impossible to unfold before my very eyes. And oh, how powerful it is when a chosen one dares to believe for what the world deems unthinkable. Chosen one, your million awaits. It is not locked behind layers of bureaucracy or kept away by forces of chance. It is stored up, ready for you to align mind, heart, and hands to receive. Keep your spirit in tune, your actions consistent, and your gratitude boundless. Let no negativity attach itself to your dreams. Cut off any line of thought that attempts to sow seeds of doubt. If negative influences arise in your environment, respond with a firm and loving boundary. You are on a mission, and missions require focus. Picture yourself 6 months, a year, or 2 years from now, looking back on this very moment. Will you see it as the pivotal turning point, the moment you decided to go all in, refusing to let circumstances dictate your future? I believe so. Let that vision energize you. Let it guide your choices, your words, and your partnerships. Let it remind you that while the path to a million may have challenges, you walk it with unwavering courage, unwavering faith, and unwavering resolve. Every page in the story of your life leads you closer to what has been promised. And the closer you get, the more you realize that wealth itself is not the ultimate reward. Rather, it is the freedom, the impact, and the joy that come from fulfilling your destiny. If you ever grow weary, recall the reason you started this pursuit in the first place: to break free from old cycles, to leave a legacy of faith, and to usher in a new standard of living that honors the one who placed this dream in your heart. You, chosen one, carry a torch that others will follow. They will see the light of your testimony and realize that they too can hope for greater things. This is how revival sparks, not just spiritually but in every facet of life. Families restored, businesses flourished, and communities transformed, because one person dared to step out of mediocrity into the fullness of abundance. That one person is you. Even as you read these final lines of this segment, let your heart swell with anticipation. Visualize your bank balance reflecting the fulfillment of every promise spoken over you. More importantly, visualize the faces of those you will serve, the environment you will create, and the kingdom you will expand through your generosity. This is not a mere fantasy. It is the unfolding truth for anyone who dares to stand on the promises of something greater.